My name is Pridmore. I'm a sculptor and I work in many different materials. Metals, concrete, foam, it really depends on what the project dictates. I love working in a myriad of materials because I get to learn something new every time. My style is it's really natural. I use a lot of oyster shells and branches and barnacles. So I use a lot of natural coloring and I try to bring worlds together with that. I have some metal skills, made bronze sculptures before. I've also poured concrete. I use a lot of paper mache. It really just depends on what's needed. Climate change is a theme throughout my work. It felt like a really good fit working on the Gentilly Resilience project because I felt like my work and that project kind of already go hand in hand. My proposed piece is a sculpture. I've been thinking a lot about our first walk through the neighborhood. There were so many conversations about trees that used to be there or trees that had withstood Katrina and kind of were still there. I was thinking about the tree in general as a resilient thing, kind of withstanding and weathering so many different kinds of storms and floods, and they still remain. I also want to incorporate a water element, and I want it to be sort of a sculpture that's activated by water. So having hollow areas that become spouts when it rains that capture water and run it through the sculpture and it becomes a water spout. I also wanted to incorporate an oyster shell component. I have worked with oyster shells before. I find them really fascinating. And I kind of love the idea of crusting an area with shells so it's part of the growth. It becomes an organic part of the growth, or maybe crusting an interior section. I think the tree as an object of resilience is pretty universal. I have two kind of renderings of this sculpture. One of them is more of a live oak looking tree, and one of them is more of a cypress looking tree. I also have the sculpture drawn as sitting on a plinth, or kind of wrapping around a plinth. It's like the man-made element with this organic thing wrapping around, and I feel like, to me, that's sort of a conversation about us on the planet. It's like our structures kind of incorporating our interactions with the earth, basically. And I feel like that also universally relates. Like, we're talking about how do we manage this natural element, all of this water that's coming in, how do we manage it in a way that's not fighting it, that's communing with nature rather than being in a battle with nature all of the time.